little bit of powerlifting just because that's what's available here in strongman.
Right.
I kind of have a question about the deadlift, because when we do strongman stuff, well, we do stones, of course,
right.
which are sitting right on the ground, so you're all the way bent over.
Right.
And a lot of the deadlifts, or like silver dollar deadlifts, are at the knee, just above the knee, just below the knee.
Right.
And then the deadlift, like we do in starting strength or powerlifting, I forget, it's half the plate, so 9 inches off the ground, I think.
All right.
So that got me to think everything else, a bench or a squat, is kind of based on that person's anatomy. The bar comes all the way down to the chest. It goes all the way up to your shoulders are locked out. The squat is built on how your hips structured. You know, the bar fully stood up, go down just below parallel, full effective range of motion. But for some reason on the deadlift, we just have a number. It's not built on your body. So I'm just asking, why is that? Or is there a preferred place the deadlift could be done, like a deficit? Like you could do a deadlift, anything that's above the foot, because it's got to be halfway between the foot. But should the deadlift be done halfway between the knee and the foot? Should it be done just below the knee? What would be the best place for it, other
depends
than
on how tall you are.
Just half the plate?
I'm assuming you have read the Blue Book.
You assume too much of people, Rip.
I do. Have you read the Blue Book?
Mm-hmm.
You have. Mm-hmm is not really a yes.
You can say no.
Well, as a man, I skimmed it. You know, I don't know if a man's ever read an entire book.
That's what everybody
skimmed
does.
Skimmed it is a problem.
Well, he's being honest. That's what everybody does.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I know. All right, so here's the situation, man. The Blue Book is the only book in print, and it is certainly the first attempt to do a mechanical analysis of the barbell exercises. Right? Now, the squat comes off the floor. I'm sorry, the deadlift comes off the floor with the barbell directly over the middle of the foot. Now, why? Why is that? This is terribly important information.
Balance.
For balance purposes. And you know, I mean, the dumbest way to say this is that you can't apply a maximum amount of force to a load if you're off balance relative to the load. Now, what does off balance relative to the load mean? Well, if you're trying to pull a barbell up, you're pulling against gravity. Which way does gravity operate? Straight down. And if gravity operates straight down, then you have to pull straight up. The maximum amount of pull you can generate can't be generated at an angle. It must be generated in a straight vertical line over the bar, if the load is maximal, like it would be on a deadlift. Now, if you're doing a snatch, it doesn't matter because it's not a maximal pull. All right. But the other lifts have their rules dictated by that same mechanical analysis. What's the load? Here, the load's gravity. What way does gravity operate? Gravity operates in a straight vertical line between the barbell and the center of the earth. That's gravity. It always operates in that same direction, and everything that you do to lift that load must be either generated in a straight vertical line opposite of gravity, or the effort will be submaximal. Now, this is true of the squat, the deadlift, the bench press, the press, and the Olympic lifts. All of them are generated, all the force must be generated with respect to the force that you are pulling against, which is the force of gravity. Okay? So, you're asking about the difference between a deficit deadlift and a rack pull above the knees, for example.
No, he's asking about the height.
Well, he mentioned the height of the pull.
Height of the bar.
Height of the bar
And
relative to the...
I mean, it is relatively arbitrary, right? It just happened to be that they decided on this size plate.
That's what I'm saying. It's arbitrary. We base it on half a plate out of tradition. as opposed to most effective range, because I can pull a lot more from my knee, obviously up, than I can just above my foot. So
Sure.
where would be the best place to train from? Or I know we use, I guess, tradition is half a plate, 9 inches, I think. But would it be better for people to train just above the foot or just below the knee? Or
What are you training for?
Well, the other thing though is any
I'm
lower.
just
You're
saying
training for a
general
deadlift.
strength training.
It just happens to be that this at least it seems to.
Join us again this week on Starting Strength Radio. This next episode is going to be one of our famous call-in question and answer sessions where you get on the phone when we provide you the phone number, and you call in and you ask us questions, and we answer the damn things. Because no one can answer questions like we answer questions.